So the Fearless Foundation is a foundation that I put together after the 2012 Olympics. It's no secret that I was sexually abused by my first coach, and shortly before 2012, I came out with my story, right around the time that the Jerry Sandusky scandal was breaking. And I remember I got in a fight with my best friend because she put something on Facebook about Joe Paterno losing his job. And I couldn't understand how I lived in a society where people were rioting, students were rioting and flipping over cars and doing all this crazy stuff about a football coach losing his job, but no one was saying anything for those countless victims whose lives had been changed forever. And I realized that that was because there was no face to it. People didn't understand it, and it was so taboo. People didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to think about it. They didn't want to hear about it. And that's when I decided that I was going to try and be fearless, and I was going to try and put a face to it and change that taboo. So I started talking to reporters, and I started telling my story, and then I won the Olympics, and people were like, wow, what a comeback story, what a rags to riches story, what an amazing story about overcoming obstacles. And I was invited to speak all over the country and in some places of the world to share my story with foundations and groups and organizations. And I found that for the most part, everyone is doing some serious work, to try and stop sexual abuse. But it's all on a very local and regional level. There is no Live Strong for survivors of sexual abuse. There is no Susan G. Komen. There is no big organization where you can say, okay, I want to donate my time, my money, and my effort into ending this epidemic. And it is an epidemic. 1 in 4 girls and 1 in 6 boys will be sexually abused or assaulted by the time they're 18. And those are just the kids who say something. So it's probably a lot more than we actually realize. So that's why I started the Fearless Foundation. I remember being in school and learning all about stranger danger and all about saying no to drugs and all about safe sex and what bullying is, and there's all of this educational material and all of that, but there is no educational material on what you should do if someone close to you tries to take advantage of you. I'm writing a book with a psychologist who I've worked with, and we're sort of using my story as a guideline. And my goal is for it to be in the 7th grade health class curriculum. I want every child in America to have to read about it and learn about it and talk to someone close to them about it so that they understand that this doesn't have to happen. Because when you're in it, it feels like you're never going to be happy again. And I want kids to realize that that's not true, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. There is a gold medal at the end of the tunnel. So that's the first part of the foundation. The second part of the foundation is, about raising awareness. And we're doing that with the Fearless collection with Fuji by Kayla. All the proceeds from this collection go towards the foundation and helping raise money to try and make it much bigger than just, getting books to kids in Massachusetts. Again, I want every kid in America to have to read about it. So Team Force and I are designing a program with another foundation, and we're going to teach kids who have been sexually abused judo. And they're just going to come, they're going to get to be kids, and they're going to play, and they're going to have fun, and it's going to be awesome. And hopefully they're going to get some confidence back while doing that. But again, my goal is not for it just to be judo. Eventually I want it to be whatever it is that makes you feel safe. It's painting or tennis or archery or badminton. I want the Fearless Foundation to incorporate all of those, and I want kids all across the country to be able to go somewhere and have an activity and be kids. And then eventually I want to set up a network of therapists where if you type in your zip code on the fearlessfoundation.com, it says, oh, boom, 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 boom. Here's where you can go to talk to someone, to get help. Here's where the victim witness advocates are. Here's your local rape crisis center. Here's all of this information so that you don't feel so alone, and so that it's not something where you just don't, it's overwhelmingly hopeless. So that's the Fearless Foundation, and that's how the Fearless collection with Fuji by Kayla is trying to make a difference in the world.